So whenever you guys are ready, maybe we can go through a few things here.
Would you have us up there or?
Yeah, come on up.
Okay.
Because, I just, maybe gather around and we'll get all the way so at least we'll have some reference here. We got more room over here.
I'll let you know, I know how to hook up a VCR.
You know what? That's perfect. Then you're set. Can you see that? Is that good? Okay.
I'm gonna say you stayed at Holiday Inn last night.
All right. You want to come on up here, Jordan? Scoot on over. Okay. You can squeeze in.
I actually know how to make it.
All right.
Record video when I'm out of the house and come on automatically.
Good feedback early.
Thank you. All right. So this soundboard is just like your old soundboard. It can just do a lot more. I mean, on your other soundboard, you just had the one channel strip that you worried about, and it had the knobs, everything. This is the same thing. It's just a different layout, and it can do a whole lot more. What I want you guys to just really focus on is just trying, just doing the day-to-day things. You don't really need to know how to add effects to a channel. You don't need to know how to, add gates to a channel. Of course, we did compressor. That was something we needed, and it's good. So just remember that if you think you need something, you probably have it. You just got to give us a call and ask us how to use it, and we'll walk you through getting it set up. It's not a big deal. I will walk you through. Do we have a microphone sitting in here? Just a regular microphone?
You got one on the Talkback.
Oh, I do. No, that's fine. Do we have a microphone cable sitting over there?
There's an XLR right down there.
Yeah, perfect.
Excuse me.
Is there, or did we use it?
I'm not sure. We had a couple of wound up ones in here for sure.
We might have.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well,
Well, definitely
actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. I can just plug it in straight here.
into a channel.
Okay, so. All right.
This is all new. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nope. It's.
So we can bring
So-
some candy still.
I guess I'll just walk you through just setting up a microphone, and just going through the basic there. I just plugged this in to the soundboard right here. Obviously, you guys are more than likely going to be plugging one in at the stage, which is your stage box there. It's numbered up to 48. Obviously, you're not probably going to use any, near that many channels in this building, but maybe one day you'll have a large symphony and you'll probably be using most of them. But I just want to walk you through a setup real quick. I am going to go through the routing just because I have to route this. Don't worry if I lose you on it because that is set up. So you won't have to go through the routing, but you can definitely watch me do it just so I can have this here for you. It's channel 8 on the board. What I want to do is bring it into channel 40 on here. So what I'm going to do is go to input outputs. I'm going to take the surface number 8. So you're routing from here, and we're taking it to an input on the actual program onto the actual board. I'm just going to bring it into 40 because I don't want to mess with anything up higher just in case you need it. Those are all straight up patched from the stage, so I don't want to change that. You won't have to go through this every time, but at least we're going through it now so you can see it. And I'm just going to take it to 40 so that way we can use this. Now that's, if you look here,
It's physically plugged into 8.
it's physically plugged into 8. Oh,
Is routed to mic 40.
yeah, routed to mic 40, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to hit the home. And now this is the part where I do want you to focus on. That is already going to be done for you. Now I'm going to hit inputs here. Actually, if you hit input, if you're trying to get to just an input that's not on here and it's not selecting, see how this is selected? That's what you're looking at, is your piano mics. So let's click it again, and now we can get to our inputs. Brandon made them all black. So they're going to be the ones that are dark right now. Here's 40. We're not using it, so I'm going to use this for little training purposes. So I selected mic 40, and it's colored here so you can see. I've already gone through and turned everything, I've turned all your EQs on. I've turned it on in the mixes just to cut out a few extra steps for you guys if you do add something. So now we're to the point where you would be adding something, okay? So I just plugged in a mic. It's right here, but normally you're gonna plug it in on stage. What we wanna do first is, this is a phantom powered mic. It's gotta have 48 volts. This actually, here, Rudy, I'll let you do it, because, I mean, how can you learn by just listening?
Okay.
So mic 40 is selected. It's already routed, because we already took care of that. Let's go ahead and turn the phantom power on. You can see it on the screen right here. So you could actually click it with the mouse, but an easier way is right here. You have a 48 volt button.
Okay.
So go ahead and click it.
Got it. And would it be right there? Is that it right there?
Yes.
Okay. So they even made them the same color.
hmm
Okay. And it lit up.
And now you want to turn your gain up. And your gain is right here.
Okay. So these don't have, unlike our formative board, these are just
They keep
infinity.
on going.
They're
and you
infinities.
can-
We
and
have
you
to use
look.
this as a reference.
And if you see your meter,
Yeah.
it's starting to come up. Okay.
Okay. So we want to target the top end being in the yellow and not hitting the red.
Yeah, and if it doesn't quite get to the yellow, that's fine. Looks like you're out of headroom with this mic anyways. But 2-2, 2-2, which that's fine.
Surprise.
So,
okay.
Now,
What does that mean? That how will we max that mic out? Is it because our headroom has been brought down our to some
no,
other setting?
I think it's just the individual mic. It's not as powerful maybe as a lot of the other ones we have on stage, because we didn't have to go quite that high with the pulpit mic. But I mean, it's as long as it's not noisy, you're fine. The other thing we gotta do, and we'll just go through checks. Like I said, a lot of this I already set up for you. But for instance, what we want to do with this, we want it to go to stereo. We want it to go to the main stereo. So we're looking down here. Right now we're still on overview. You look, this is your stereo, your master's area. You gotta make sure it's clicked, because if it's not clicked, it's not actually gonna go to the mains.
Where's it going? Just nowhere?
Nowhere.
Got it.
And interesting. Okay. What is SIS?
SIS is solo in place, and that's like a broadcast deal, like for TV studios and things. But you don't have to worry about that. Another thing you got to check, if it's something that you're going to need to send to the monitors, here's your aux section. See how these are darker than these?
Okay. Yeah.
These, it's because it's not on in any of the matrices, which is fine. We don't want it on. We do want it on in the auxes, right? So go ahead and scroll over to aux 1 through 8.
Could I get it from here as well?
No.
Okay.
Okay. See, it's on and it's on pre. You always want your inputs to be on pre-fade for your monitors, and I know we talked about it a little bit when we trained. So that way when you're adjusting out here, it's not changing your level in there. So I mean, visually, you can see they're all on and they're all on pre. That doesn't mean they're in the monitor, because we didn't turn it up in the monitor, but now if you do turn it up, it's already there. And that's kind of the difference between this and your analog console. You turn that knob up and it's there. Here, you can leave the knob set. So, for instance, sometimes you may, okay, actually, a perfect example, Beth wants to hear the orchestra for orchestra rehearsals, but she doesn't want the orchestra to be in her monitor for the actual congregationals and everything for when we're actually in a worship service. So instead of pulling them back out you could just click them off in her monitor. Just a different way to do it. It's completely up to you guys. You might want to, instead of having to worry about if they're on or off, just bring them down. That's fine. And you'll get more comfortable and get a feel for what you guys want to do later. That's not a big deal. But it's on in the monitors. It's on pre, so we're good. We should be good to actually bring it up. So you can go ahead and bring it up and in the on the fader, and we should be able to hear it. 2 2 1 2 2 1 1 2. So that's really it for. Wow, that picks up a lot here. That's really it when it comes to setting up another microphone. That's, it was on in the EQ. Oh, actually, we didn't go to the EQ section. You can click on it here, or you can go to these little round buttons. This is the EQ one, so if you click on that little round button, it'll take you there as well. This little EQ button is pressed. If it's not, it will say it's off. So that way when you're adjusting, you're like, oh, that's why.
Okay.
You're blocking
This
it.
brings us,
Slide over a little bit. There you go.
So this brings us to each,
Yeah.
okay.
Lows, low, mid, high, high, mid, high. And
So
you
this
can
is
adjust
very
individually.
similar to what we used to have. These are
Yes.
4 bands, but then you can,
You've got the width.
right, but then you can break that down into the band EQ as well, right?
Right. With most analog consoles, you don't have much flexibility with this. You have a low, and it's usually set, and you can turn it up or down. You have and sometimes you will have a sweepable mid, which, for instance, when let's say we want to turn this down. Well, you might be able to go like this on an analog console, but that's only with the mid. But here we can do it with anything, as you saw us doing it in the service. So,
Okay, guys, we didn't have these features
Width,
here
yeah.
within game. We only
And-
had sweepable frequencies on high mids and low mids. That's it.
right. So if there is a certain frequency that you're constantly hearing, it's like, oh man, maybe there's a little bit of low end rumble. Well, maybe you want to bring a set of frequencies down. Well, you can widen it as much as you want, or you can narrow it. So if you're wanting to narrow in on a couple frequencies. Now this is a vocal microphone. Vocal microphones, right off the bat, what we should have done before we even got into the EQ is selected the high pass filter. So go ahead and select that little, I think that little circle will take us where we need to go. No, the circle.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay. That way we can see our high pass filter. If you click here, it will turn your high pass filter on. Okay, let's see. Click it again.
Possible that that's this. Needs to be pressed. Okay, that's where we were. And then we did
Okay,
this.
it's weird that it took it away. But anyways, when you select it, see how it just turned it on?
Yep.
But now we want to turn it up. I always start my high pass filters at 150 is a good place to start. You can bring it up or down. 150 hertz. So if you scroll this up, when you're touching it, it tells you where it's at. So 150 is a great place to start for a vocal mic. You can bring it down or up depending on, what it's starting to sound like. And so if you want to put it into the pulpit mic, monitors, you would click here on aux 1, and then this section becomes your sends for aux 1. So for instance, so if we click aux 1, yep. Now, when we're adjusting here, we're not adjusting what we're hearing. We're adjusting what the pulpit.
So can we pull down
Person's
house
hearing.
so we can tell when the monitors go on?
We can. Yep. And you just pull it out. Okay. And now if you want to put it in the monitor, you're on aux 1, and so when you bring that fader up, you should be able to hear it in aux 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's going to sound real funny
Yeah.
because we're behind it, but it's up.
And it's not now the front fills are tied into the house speakers, correct?
Yes, so the front fills are fed from the stereo fader. So that's why you don't hear them right now, because we pulled it out.
Good.
And it's what's called post fade. Remember we were talking about pre and post? Well, that's on post fade because we want it to go out when we turn this out. And in turn, that will also turn it out there, because that is also post fade.
Out where?
Out in the lobby.
That is hooked up now?
We just hooked it up a little bit ago. And it will also turn it out in the recording, because that's also fed from the mains.
So now we don't worry about the decibel level on the MP3 player at all. We set it, forget about it, adjust it here.
Yeah, yep, you can, and that way you have a fader, you can recall it, whatever.
So, is there a mute? Where's the mute for that particular channel? Is that right here?
Yes, now, okay, so you muted it there. Okay, it did carry through. I wasn't sure if that would just do it in the monitor or not, but it did. So if you mute it, even if you're on a monitor, it's gonna mute it everywhere. 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Now, if you want to take that back out, and then we can clear it to where we can get back.
What do you
But
mean?
right now it's still.
So you just take it out of the monitor.
Yeah, take it out of the monitor and then go back to your main section to where we're mixing front of house, like what we hear.
So we're on aux 1 right now.
Mhm.
So it's in, that means with this up and that light on, it's in the monitor. So we can take it out and then hit clear or push the button again, and then we're back to the main house settings.
Yeah, you never want to.
Bring the house back up
Right,
in order to hear it.
right.
It's clear on it.
So if you ever see that one of these are clicked,
Okay.
if you ever see that any of these mix-ins are clicked, you know you're not looking at the house. So just always remember to clear it or click it again, so that way
Do we have
You just-
anything other than aux 1?
you do. Okay, so these are your, okay, so let's look at VCAs.
Aux 1 is.
VCAs are actually, it's like a sub mix of whatever we chose to put in it. So for instance, if you click here on piano, we put all your piano microphones in there. If you wanted to, you can put the keyboard in there. Right now it's in orchestra. Let me show you how to do that.
Let me insert one thing so they understand what you've done. This is different from what we had before. There on Beth's piano, piano 1, there is a
yes.
stereo mic there now. One of them is high, piano high, the other one's piano low. So Beth's piano is now broken into 2 mics. Okay?
But it's not
Yeah.
twice as loud, right?
No, it's twice as clear though.
I'm kidding.
There's fidelity to it and tones to it that I never heard before.
Right.
I heard low keys and I heard the attack on the key that I never even heard before.
Wow. Okay.
I could hear the hammer striking the resonant string that I couldn't hear
Very
before.
nice.
It just,
Yep.
the SM57 is now moved over to piano 2. The Rode mics are not here. They're going to be moved over there.
Okay.
I mean, we may
But
leave
you
them,
can use them wherever you want them,
Right.
but yeah.
but they're not in play right now.
Got it.
So that's piano. Orchestra are the 4 original choir mics. They're all set up. No?
They're actually all new mics.
Yeah.
Okay. The original choir mics are not.
They're over there.
Choir mics are over there. I'm corrected. So
That's
there's
okay.
4 condenser type over here set up. And are they the same
They are.
across the board?
They
like
are.
choirs and the
The
orchestra?
choirs are taller, and actually I was gonna talk to Pastor about, changing your tall booms out for short ones, because those are tall enough where we can give you booms this high, and then you only have the little pencil thin going all the way up. And I just think that would be so much better, and that would, so I'm gonna talk about bringing some back and swapping them out for some shorter ones. Just that way, 'cause I mean, there's no need in having the pole this high when the sticks are 7 feet tall anyways. I just think for aesthetics, that just looks so much better when you just have a pencil thin.
If they won't
basic
accept the
wire.
return though, I mean, they're barely
Right,
noticeable.
right. Yep.
Even now.
You're right,
Yeah.
you're right.
Because some people will give you a hard time on a return, especially with
If
Mike.
they don't accept the
Well,
return, I can
yeah,
cut and weld.
yeah. But, yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, if I can say, we are in a gym.
So for the orchestra, and even the choir, I know Mac moves the mics around a lot, but especially you know, for the orchestra, be listening always. I mean, if you guys say, you know, and think, man, I can't really hear the violin player, but I can hear everything else, well, that's a mic position thing. That's your guys' job to get those mics in here.
They're gonna be coming out here. How do we take that talk off? Let me just,
Oh, yep.
all right, so, box.
It's actually in the main though.
It's in the mains.
So, go ahead, don't forget to click out of it. Okay?
Oh, you can
Now-
go onto.
You clicked another one.
So,
Let me get by here, guys. I need to probably get on out of here. I'll pick it up when I can.
so now you need to get to input 40. This is not, yep, this is not,
Took
this
a
is
lot
your
of
input
space, huh?
section.
All right,
See
so,
your input? Nope. Click your input.
oh, input, that is input.
Okay, right. And it didn't light up, right?
You're
Now, do you
selected
remember
on
what you gotta do when it doesn't light up? Do you remember, Brandon?
Yeah, so you gotta, right now we're selecting the subgroup piano, so we gotta deselect and get to all the inputs that we can go through here.
We just had it.
All right, so now, this is
Go
going,
light that up.
You-
there's a difference between, this is the level of it, the input, but then the level of it, how do I make it not be part of the monitor?
I think we already did that, but look and see. You can click on it. Yep, it's already out of the monitor.
Because I can hear it. Or is
You're
that
hearing
current
it in the
house?
house.
Okay, so, then I
Yep.
want to take that out.
There you go.
Now it's out, right?
And, yep, and you don't have to have this selected to adjust a fader, but you do have to have it selected if you're wanting to see what's going on here with EQ or anything like that. And that goes for everything across the board here to get it to this section.
All right, so now, already forgotten that, so, now I'm back,
Right.
okay.
So,
We need some sheets up here for the first couple of weeks.
mhm.
All right, so now we're back, okay.
The bells are coming in, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want them to hear you through the.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And if you want, like, I personally don't use
Talkback?
the talkback like a talkback. So, I mean, honestly, if I were you guys and you wanted to have a talkback, I would just leave it plugged into this and
was the
use
plan.
it as channel 40.
Yeah, I was just gonna go and rename it as soon as you left to
Yep.
Talkback.
Yeah, so that
Talkback.
because I think you have a lot easier
You got
control
that
if you're on a
pressure
fader.
faster.
You can just pop it up, pop it out. This is nice for certain applications, but I don't think it's really great for this one. So we talked about high pass filter a little bit. Okay, so we put a compressor on the preaching mic this morning. Do you guys want to look at how we did that?
I'm still not sure I
think I'm one step
understand
advanced.
the
Okay,
basics.
no problem.
Help
no
me with the
problem.
basics. So, service
And
just started.
You actually helped me with that, so I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
you could probably do it if you needed to. And if not, you guys are always welcome to call if you feel like you need it
Why would
somewhere.
we do that? Not to take too much
Oh,
of the
because Pastor's range of volume, his dynamic range was such that we compressed it. He was getting, there were points where he would spike up his volume, his own volume would spike up so much so that we put a kind of an artificial ceiling on it. So to the audience, it's transparent. They don't see it.
You know what we
Yeah,
relied
I
the
did
slider a lot
notice
for
that.
him?
He
We
didn't
have to
do
keep
as
going up
much
and down.
highs as
We
you
don't have to do that
usually
It
anymore.
helps that.
As he goes above that, it now pulls it, clamps it down.
It's kind of like, you have this, you have your TVs that have smart sound built in. And when you're watching a movie, there are certain things that'll wake your kid up. It kind of puts a ceiling on those. It's the same concept.
But like I was telling Brandon this morning, you're not using it to take the place. It's not a volume control. It's to make the highs and make the loudness not so harsh, not so loud. So as it's getting louder, it's pushing down on it. It's still letting it come up, but it's just pushing down on it a little bit.
Hence the term compression.
But what it's not doing is doing this for you.
Oh, I thought that's what it was doing.
No.
I thought it was.
It takes
No.
out some of that, but we still
helps
need to
it.
watch.
It's like mastering a recording, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah. And the thing is, if you try and, like I was telling Brandon, if you try and use it like that to where you don't ever have to touch it, it's going to start sounding really unnatural. You can make it to where it sounds like it's
The
guy's
same no matter
talking
what.
like this no matter what. But it's going to get.
Well,
it's
yeah, we're
gonna
not trying
start
to do
getting- You want it to be.
You want it
smooth.
dynamic,
You
okay.
want it dynamic. You just want to make it a little less harsh, and that's what that's for. I mean, it was a perfect opportunity to use it this morning, and it's like we all realized we needed it, and we were able to give it to it. You know, we were able to put it on here. So.
if we had a regular service here,
hmm
time to set up, and it's now first hymn. We got piano 1, piano 2, pulpit, orchestra mics, including the keyboard. We need to set these up.
hmm
So we hit the piano. These are the settings for the first piano, the second piano, the orchestra mics. We make sure that they're all where they should be.
hmm
So good. We then hit the choir mics.
hmm
Now it turns out we don't need the choir on right now. So do I just mute them all like that, or
I would recommend doing it a different way.
is there a grouping, or I can over here I could just do choir like that? Is that better?
We'll do the same thing.
It's one button. instead of
Yes,
four.
and that's actually what I told Brandon. And actually, I told Brandon what I would do is pull it down, so that way when you want to bring it back up, you can bring it back in,
Gradual.
especially for the piano.
Okay.
The only downside to that, I'm just thinking now, is when you do this, it doesn't bring it down in the monitors.
Oh.
So it might be better to just mute them here.
Because they could still get the ringing or whatever it is.
Right, which we're not putting the choir in the monitors
Right.
there, but we are putting it in there a little bit for Beth. And there might be some, or you guys might want some in the orchestra a little bit. So you really don't want them on anywhere if they're not being used.
Okay, so we
So
need the
I
choir.
would like to renege on that and say, let's mute them.
And the vocals, just for clarification, vocals means the pulpit and
You know what, let's,
that name, I'm not quite sure what the implication is. So wireless 1, 2, 3, 4, pulpit, lav 1, and Mac. We made them lowercase. He's not all
If
caps.
you want, we could do a group here, like
You did? You changed
Yeah.
it?
speaker.
Great. You want to do WL 1, 2, 3, and 4
I was
next?
thinking of that too. Yeah, I wanted to get your okay on
Okay,
that.
so why don't we go ahead and do
Yeah,
that?
'cause that's confusing.
Is it here? Yeah, it's here.
Alright.
So what did you hit for that? So we
This,
get on.
this input button.
Okay,
I hit
the input
input
button.
slash output. So I'm in the input screen here, and if we want to change that to wireless, you click on it, and then there's a keyboard here that you can just back out,
Keep working away, Brian.
and then just change each name. So
Are we going to have Lav 2 on a separate channel? Because now there is Lav 1, there's Mac, and then we also have Lav 2. Have we even hooked it up yet?
I would say because Mac wanted to have the four handhelds for quartets.
He's currently on all the same channel as
He's
Lab 2.
right. He's currently on Lav 2.
Oh, so Lav 2
So-
isn't even, that channel isn't even free yet.
Right. So I would say the best thing is for you just to use Lav 1 for the preaching and for the Sunday school teacher, and those are both more speaking. Mac is going to be, probably quite different. Plus, it's going to be, he's going to be singing, so it's going to be probably better to use Lav 1 for both more of the speaking things.
Okay. If Lav 1 ever goes out and we need to change the pack on it,
You have a third pack. And also, if there are times you want to take wireless 4 away because you're not going to have a quartet every week, you can still use that. You can use that channel for a lav. So
Hold on. So each of our individual labs are all in Lab 1?
No. And also, you may want to clarify this. Max is a Sennheiser. It's not even a Shure.
No, they're okay. So
Oh, that's right.
Max
That's right.
Sennheiser is for because his microphone actually has an in-ear on it as well. So that way he doesn't have to strain so much. He can actually hear himself in his own ear. So with that mic, there's a little in-ear attached. He just puts a little earbud in his ear, and you guys through.
So that's an input and an output.
Yeah, it's two separate packs, but yeah, it's actually through this 1, 2, 3, 4 aux 5. So you would go up here, just like you do with the monitors. You would click here to adjust Max in-ear that is in his ear.
So we need a list of those. Aux 1 is the monitor.
If you click here, it tells you exactly what they are. If you click on aux here, you got to list, and you're
Oh, yeah,
completely welcome to,
Thank
if you're wanting to list them here as well, put maybe little labels.
To get used to it, yeah.
Yeah, so basically Mac, we're waiting on an adapter for
What is Lab
his
2?
headset. That's
Is that
why he
on
didn't
here
have
at all?
it this morning.
Right.
But he will have two
Mac
packs
is Lab
sitting
2
here.
currently
One
with
will be
Mac
for his
right
inner ear.
But that's a
Gonna
mic
change
that we don't have, right? That's being
set.
We're actually going to have an additional because he's explaining his Sennheiser is.
But
It's
So we still
pretty
have-
cool. This is
he's
actually
waiting on an adapter.
new
Currently Lab
system
2 is taking
these
that spot.
guys are doing the DPA microphones to where they have that attached. So it's
Are we
just
only
one
using-
cable coming up, and then you have the two plugs.
out.
So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
One thing, maybe to clear up this vocals confusion, because it seems like a lot of us don't intuitively know what that is.
Okay.
But maybe if we add another VCA, leave Pulpit Lav 1, Mac, and Lav 2, I guess, and call this one Stage or Pulpit.
Okay. So let's
and then
do that.
all the wireless for
Call
on
them
the
WLS.
So we probably want to move the
great.
music over so that way we can keep everything over here. Is that
Yeah.
accurate for you
Yeah,
guys?
that's kinda what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
So let's make this. Let's relabel them first, and then I'll show you how to assign them.
Okay, so to relabel them, I'm just going to try to, you got some VCAs here. It's the bottom circle here in the center. And then it brings up, just like it did on the input screen, it brings up here all your VCA. So we want to call this one, now we want to call it music. Maybe it'll take it? Yeah. And then this one we want to call
WLS.
wireless.
Okay.
And then we'll call this one stage, pulpit, speaker. What do you guys think? To make, what would be the clearest indicator for pulpit, the labs, and Max headset?
Prime. Those are the primary speaking mics, the ones used the most. Agree?
Okay. Prime. That's
I'll learn
speaker.
whatever we call it.
Yeah. Speaker.
Prime mic.
That's what sounds good.
I mean, we can call it whatever. I'm just.
Main?
Do you have to go and reassign things, or are you able to, in a software sense, take these and move them?
I'll show you a quick way to do that. Are you good
Pulpit
now?
Plus.
Let me just
Pulpit Plus the other two.
choose a color, I guess.
Yep.
Prime is
And I'm gonna show you a quick way to do that across the board for the other ones as well.
Not differentiable from the other color. That is not differentiable from the other.
But you're the
Well, I
ones
can.
doing it.
Pink
So-
is definitely differentiable. This one was blue.
Do it true government fashion. Come up with
Okay,
a
so
giant
now-
thing.
What you want to do, this is the quickest way to assign it. Hold down the one you're